guys? I'm at the channel is Dollar Box Bangers. Today I wanted to take a quick look at projections for 2023, specifically MJ Melendez and Bobby Witt Jr. And I'm going to be looking at their projections on the Fantasy Pros website. And I'm going to use the Bat by Derek Carty, that projection system, just because I think Carty's one of the sharpest guys around. These are other projection systems that you could use if you wanted to, but we'll be using the Bat today. So you can see Carty has Melendez projected for 466 at-bats, 18 home runs, and an OPS of 721. He has Bobby Witt projected for 574 at-bats, 20 home runs, and an OPS of 747. There were a couple things when looking at these guys. One thing that stands out is how similar these stats are in a lot of ways. You know, their home runs are similar, their RBIs are similar. Bobby Witt does have a significantly higher batting average, but on-base percentage, slugging, and OPS are all pretty close. Another thing that stands out is just how often MJ Melendez walks. You know, he's projected for 57 walks in only 466 at-bats. Excuse me, where Bobby Witt is projected for only 37 walks and more than 100 at-bats than Melendez. So what this tells me about Melendez is that he has a pretty good eye at the plate, and he has solid plate discipline. And those two things, you know, those are obviously things you want in a hitter, and it's going to help his on-base percentage. So that kind of supplements his crappy batting average is his good eye at the plate. So at least he's getting on base. Now, the thing that stands out with Bobby Witt is obviously stolen bases. You know, when you compare the two, he crushes Melendez. There's just no contest there. But one of the things I wanted to look at was, you know, on a per at-bat basis, how often are these guys hitting home runs and how often are they driving in RBIs? Excuse me, so let's do that real quick. All right. So for MJ Melendez, he's projected to hit 18 home runs in 466 at-bats. So we can expect Melendez to hit a home run, you know, in about 4% of his at-bats. So let's do that with Bobby Witt. 20 home runs projected, divided by 574 at-bats. So we can expect Bobby Witt to hit a home run in about every 3.5% of his at-bats. So that's just one thing there. So let's do this with RBIs. 61 RBIs, over 466 plate appearances. So MJ Melendez is going to drive in an RBI about 13% of the time. And Witt is going to drive in an RBI, so he has 72 divided by 574, about 12.5% of the time. So based on these projections, Melendez will hit a home run slightly more often and drive in an RBI slightly more often when compared to Bobby Witt Jr. Now, I know there are other things that matter. Specifically, the biggest one that I can think of is where do they hit in the order. You know, if Witt is leading off and Melendez is hitting fourth, obviously Melendez is going to have more opportunities to drive in runs. You know, that's a given. So there are things to consider here. But I just thought these were two interesting things to look at. And, you know, another thing to consider, if these at-bat projections happen to be low and Melendez gets more playing time this year than what he's projected to, home runs go up, RBIs go up, walks go up. The only thing that doesn't change a whole lot are these stats that include averages. You know, these will probably stay about the same. But I just think it's something to think about. You know, if he finds a path to play 150 games instead of 125, then you'll see an uptick in these counting stats. So, okay, what was the point of this, right? Well, this is a baseball card channel, so let's look at their baseball cards, right? So what I have pulled up over here is the MJ Melendez Update Gold. I have a couple sold comps, $9 plus $1 is $10, $9.53 plus $1, you know, $10.50. So the MJ Melendez Gold is selling for approximately $10 right now. If we look at the Bobby Witt Jr. Gold, they're selling, you know, $65 plus $5 shipping. You're talking $70 for this card. So that's a 6 to 7 and a 6 to 7 multiplier, but between these two guys and their card values. And the thing that stands out to me when I look at when I look at the stats, yeah, I don't see. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't. It just doesn't feel like Bobby Witt is that much better than MJ Melendez, right? Now I get that shortstop is a sexier position than catcher or outfield. I get it. I get that Bobby Witt is 2 years younger than MJ Melendez. That also matters. But I just think when you look strictly at the stats, these guys are very comparable. And then when you look at their card prices, they aren't comparable. They are so far apart. So this isn't an exercise to tell you, how to spend your money or what to do. But I do think that after looking at these stats, MJ Melendez, at least in my opinion, feels like a good buy. I think if you're looking to get into a little bit, speculate a little bit, you can get into Melendez really cheap, and who knows? Maybe there's some upside there, especially if he gets more at bats than what they're projecting. So I just thought this was kind of fun to compare these two guys. And this is not a knock on Bobby Witt, man. Listen, I get it. He has star potential. That's not lost on me. And he could turn out to be a 6 to 7 time better player than Melendez. But trying to be as objective as possible here with it, it just doesn't make sense to me, the card prices anyway. So I thought this was kind of fun, and if you guys enjoyed this, I'd appreciate a like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see